is FantasyEsque and welcome back to The Sims 4 Vampire Amazon with the Salazar Coven. Before we begin, I want to say a very special welcome to my channel members. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it immensely. We are picking up with Lady Zelda Salazar, our priestess who managed to narrowly escape death by claiming a favor that she won from the Queen, and now she has taken the duty of putting to rest the gravestones of our deceased vampires, the beloved champion Lady Sol Ranarain, and our brood mother Lady Rowan Cavador, the last of their ancient lines. And they are going to join the other traders at Trader's Rest, which is a separate graveyard where we lock away all of the Sims who the Queen wishes to be forgotten to time because of the terrible things they did. So this is where Zelda is. She's the priestess. It's her job to come here and put down their gravestones. And I just realized as I was going through this lot, there's actually a ton of other vampires that has been laid to rest here, which I forgot about. I thought we only had Lady Eleanor, but we actually have Lady Amanda Devil, so that is, you know, a descendant of the Devil's line. That's where our devil magic and everything started from. She was part vampire, part demon. And then we have a bunch of other vampires who were burned, like, I think they were used by Amanda's daughter Morgana. Remember when she started like brainwashing the queen and everything? So she used them, and then after she used them to overthrow, well, get the castle in lockdown, she burned them all as a wedding gift to the queen. So they're lying here, but without further ado, let's dive right in. I know that we saw some new faces in the intro for the 2 roles where we had our vampires die, and we will check those Sims out in a little bit, but first, look at Zelda, she's so sad and miserable. Now this is Trader's Rest. It actually looks quite nice in the spring. Everything's like so much greener, but we do have a bunch of dead flowers and dead trees. So if you come on to this side, you will see we have Lady Eleanor Cavador, Generation 1 Broodmother. Then we have Lady Amanda Devil, Generation 1 Priestess. And then these other Sims are traders that helped Morgana, and then she betrayed them in turn. So we have Royce and Adam, Bellatrix Whiteheart, Juliana Chapman, and Luxie Tenebris. So we are sadly going to add the gravestones of Lady Rowan Cavador and Lady Sol Ranarain right over there. You know what, guys? With their deaths, our ancient bloodlines have all but finished. The Salazars, the royal family, is the only ancient bloodline left. And out of all the ancient bloodlines, who was the first one? Ambrosia Darkreign. Ambrosia's bloodline is the only one that hasn't ended up in this graveyard, which is wild. But Ambrosia didn't have any daughters. It was just her, and she's at the honor grounds with the other vampires who died in the fire tributes over the years. So that's fine and well. Every other bloodline, ancient bloodline we had, they have ended up here, which is very, very sad. I feel kind of bad that Sol, like, her resting place is not going to be with her great-great-grandmother and her grandmother and her mother. I feel so sad. She's going to be here all by herself. Oh my goodness, Sol, you don't deserve to be here. Literally. And then Rowan. I feel terrible for Rowan. I mean, she's here with her great-grandmother, but Eleanor was a traitor. Rowan wasn't. And I feel terrible about this, but at the same time, guys, I have to remind you all that not everything is fair, especially in the stories that we have with our vampires. Justice isn't always a thing. Fairness isn't always a thing. So sometimes you will have Sims that die for unfair reasons, for reasons not their own. It just has to do with circumstance sometimes, whoever is queen. So there we go. That's what we have to deal with at this point, but I think we're gonna get Zelda to go ahead, She's going to leave a sugar skull offering, strengthen connection to the physical world, and this is going to be part of the last rites that she does for them. So let's leave offering, let's strengthen to the physical world. And the other thing that Zelda is going to do, she is going to mourn these Sims. Typically you would not mourn a traitor, but she knows that Rowan was innocent, and she also knows that Soul did what she did for the right reasons. So she is going to mourn them all. And hopefully she has enough energy to last in the sun. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But, oh, Soul, you precious, precious being. And Rowan, of course. I know a bunch of you were terrified as soon as Soul started getting involved in that Antonio business. You guys were getting nervous and hoping that nothing bad happens to him. And actually, I went through today and looked at the comment section of, I think, either our very first episode or the Castle 2 episode we did, and a bunch of you guys were very scared for Soul to be in this generation, and you were hoping that Wisteria doesn't do something terrible to her. Well, it took us like 70 episodes to get there, but yes, something terrible did end up happening to Soul eventually. She stayed with us for a majority of the season, but she lost her life at some point. I mean, what were we would have had to expect something, right? We have an evil queen on the throne. Like, someone's gonna die at some point for some reason. So there we go. Zelda's very, very distraught about this. Very, very distraught. Now, I am gonna be very fascinated to find out the relationship that Zelda has with Isadora after this, and the relationship everyone has with Isadora, because she is moving into the castle, into the coven, as one of our new members. And then we have a brand new face that I don't think we've seen before, hopefully not. I know there's a bunch of Sims I've used as ambassadors, and I haven't kept track of all of them, so I'm hoping this isn't one of them. I don't think it is. She looks different, but she's super, super cool. Okay, are you done mourning, sweetheart? Oh. And then eventually, if we run out of space outside, we will have like these spots inside that we can place the urns. And then over time we might even get rid of some of these ones here to make even more space. But okay. I mean, the goal is not to have a graveyard full of traitors, right? We want everyone to end up at the honor grounds as much as possible. So it looks as though Zelda has just finished mourning Soul. So what I'm going to do is we're going to jump back to the castle, and then we'll have everyone gathered in the throne room. Perhaps we're going to have everyone gathered in the throne room. I think we might do that. I might even bring the new broodmother into the household so we can take a look at her. So I'll get everyone gathered in the throne room. We'll introduce the new members to the coven in their new roles and positions, and then we will pick up. Okay, we are picking up in the throne room with our wonderful Queen Wisteria, who is feeling not the greatest because of all the deaths that has happened. They have lost members with them that have been there for a long time, but she believes she is justified in the decisions that she had to make. Regardless, the entire coven is gathered because we need to introduce some new members in their new positions. So we have sitting on her like two sides, left and right, we've got Lady Oriana, and Zelda is back, of course. She's letting the coven know that Zelda claimed a favor from the queen that she won in the tournament, which is why she was spared. So she's kind of making that clear. She hasn't necessarily forgiven Zelda. She has spared Zelda's life and allowed her to resume her duties as a priestess. So there we go. And then we have these two Sims. The one on the left we know, the one on the right we have yet to meet. But Lady Isadora Salazar is joining us as the new champion. So, Saphira, this is your new mentor. This is your new mentor. Now, Isadora doesn't have as much fitness skill as Soul did. She only has a fitness skill of 2, but don't underestimate her. Isadora is a very, very powerful vampiress, because if you remember, she took part in like challenging the queen back in her generation. So in order to challenge the queen, you have to go through grueling training, a lot of like practice, and you really have to hone your vampiric skills. Unless you are like a very strong vampire, you won't even have the chance to challenge the queen. So even though she didn't pass, she failed, she is quite a tough cookie. Now, I think she's 1 level short of becoming a Grand Master, like 1 rank short. So she's gonna have a lot to pass on to the youngsters now. Along with, before we only had, I think, Queen, like she's way higher in rank than Solas. Before we had Queen Wisteria and Zelda that everyone else could get training from. Now we have 3 Sims that we can get training from. We can have training from Wisteria, Zelda, and Isadora. So the Salazar sisters are really powerful together. And Saphira, this is going to be your new mentor. I mean, nobody knows that she orchestrated, well, not Soul's place in this, but she orchestrated Zelda's place in this, and orchestrated Rowan's place in the rebellion, because they didn't actually rebel. But it's worked out for her because she has managed to kill off the champion and take the champion's role. And nobody is the wiser. The queen, of course, trusts her. And hopefully things go swimmingly. But she's also in charge of training Saphira up to be the champion after her. So there we go. And then in the role of Broodmother, we have this wonderful new face. This is Lady Anya Frostbite. She is an ice vampire from an icy place in the mountains, I think, is where her backstory kind of sets her at. But she's always been fascinated by vampiric lore and such. So when the queen made a call for a new broodmother, she was happy to jump in and take that role. Obviously, we don't have any kids to raise in the creature cradle at this point, so we will not be breeding Lady Anya and Lady Isadora. We are well past our breeding days, but we needed someone to look after the creature cradle because that is an important place. So Anya has stepped in to take that role, and we are very thankful to her. So this sim was actually a submission on the gallery made by grrrlonfire. So I will put the creator in the description below. So if you've forgotten that you submitted the sim, you did. And if anyone else wants to download her, she looks super cool. I did not change anything on her. I think I just gave her eyelashes, and that's pretty much it. She came dressed so beautifully, I just wanted to leave her alone. So that's her. Now, it's kind of funny because Lady Anya and Isadora, they look like they have like this ice thing going on together. They're almost matching, but you know, you know. So what has happened to the Castle Sheba? Like, who's looking after Castle Sheba if Isadora is here? Because she was the old castle keeper. Well, in Isadora's place, Queen Wisteria has arranged, this is very dark, but she has arranged for Lady Soul's twin sons, if you remember from her first pregnancy, Blaze and Luciano, who are now soldiers in the army, to become the new, like they're posted at Castle Sheba, so they're almost playing as castle keepers. So they're not lords or anything, they're soldiers, but they're posted together because, you know, I didn't want to separate the twins. They are posted together at Castle Sheba, so they'll be looking after that. Now, where can I get a look at these two? There we go. So we have Blaze and Luciano. They look so attractive, guys. I gave them just a little bit of a makeover, updated their hairs, and gave them their armor and whatnot. They look gorgeous. Like, don't they? They have those Rana Rain jeans. They have Kali's like bright red hair, and then they've got that skin tone they've always had. They have Soul's eyes, like big, beautiful bug eyes. I just love it so much. But there we go. Even though Soul has passed on, at least she has sons, and we might be able to extract those Rangarang genes from those sons, so the bloodlines will merge. That's actually a benefit that we have. Now, what else? Also, I gave Frederick Salazar, Antonio's son, a makeover, so he is wearing the proper kind of uniform that, like, Lord Art has, the exact same outfit, because he is Lord Art's heir, even though he is Lord Art's nephew. So, yeah, he's going to be taking on the role after his father in the next generation. So we don't have to worry about that just yet or anything like that. But, okay. Well, that's what we have going on with these guys. Looks as though Anya is getting along quite well. So I kind of want to take a look at the dark forms as well, just while they are with us. But Anya's personality, she is gloomy, genius, and a perfectionist. And Isadora, in case we've forgotten, this beautiful, beautiful sim. She's a child of the ocean, she is evil, and a cat lover. So something that I will probably, like, I didn't do this in her generation, but I think I mentioned I've started doing this with the Generation 5 kids, is if they roll traits, like random traits during their birthdays, that don't make sense to me, like Child of the Ocean or Cat Lover, I'll probably, like, roll again instead of keep it, because I don't see how I can apply that to the way I play these games. Like, I've already tried certain things, and oh my goodness, Lady Zora's life is coming to an end! But I've already tried, like, having cats in Generation 2, which was cute, but we didn't end up keeping it long term, so some things just don't work out, and I don't want to force it too much. I just don't end up playing with pets with my vampires, so it doesn't make sense to me to have them, because we're so busy worrying about other things. But okay, let's check out Isadora's dark form that we haven't done in a long time. We haven't seen this girl. I mean, we see her in parties and stuff, but really, we haven't had an intimate time playing her since the previous generation. So that's kind of crazy, but she is a gorgeous sim. Evil to the bone, but gorgeous. Look at her. Lovely. She's just lovely. Now, the funny thing about the twin boys who are now stationed at Castle Sheba, one of them is, like, one's a vegetarian and really nice, is a goofball. The other twin is evil and he hates children. I think Luciana's the one. Let me see. Where's that Queenie? Let's see. So I think Blaze, yeah, he's a perfectionist, he's a cat lover and vegetarian, and that's funny because Isadora was a cat lover. So he kind of is almost, I wouldn't say impersonating, but he's kind of reflecting a bit of Isadora there. And then his twin, Luciano, is evil, and Isadora is also evil. So it's like two parts of Isadora from the soldiers were stationed there, which is kind of odd. But there we go. One's the nice one, one's a terrible brother. So evilness remains at Castle Sheba, has not been wiped out. But that's all we have. Now, who were the other Ranarine boys? Because she had a few boys. Is anyone related to the Ranarines? I don't know. I really don't want to lose out on their bloodlines, and I'm hoping it's passed on somehow to someone. But oh well. Oh well. This is where we're at, guys. This is where we're at. I am excited to have Lady Anya with us. I feel like it's a bit unfortunate that she didn't join a bit sooner, even though that would have meant our beloved Sims dying sooner, which is why I wouldn't have wanted it, but we can't, she's like new blood. We can't extract her blood. But look at that, doesn't she look super cool in her dark form? She is supposed to be like an ice vampire almost. So I love how she looks in her dark form even. She's all blue. Look at her, so cool. She's so flippin' cool, but now she's being sad and gloomy. I mean, she has joined us at a very sad time, but I think part of also why she is happy to take on the role at the Creature Cradle is because we don't have any kids to raise right now, so her staying at this entirely empty estate is going to be a great place for her to have access to Castle Sheba, where she'll be able to do a lot of her research and studying the lore and the history because the urns are there as well, and there's just a lot of history in the original castle that we have. So I think this will probably be a place for like academic pursuit for her. This is why she's taking on that role. At the tail end of Wisteria's reign, she is just wanting to kind of be left alone and use the resources she has to mind the creature cradle, but also be able to do her own studies. So that's really good. And I think that's pretty much it for the like introduction of these Sims to other members. But I think I want, let's see. Queenie, you know what you need. You know what you really need. You have to make sure that while Anya is here, we invite her to the summoning so that we never forget her, because this is a problem that we have. So if we have like an event, a party, anything, we can just invite Anya, because I want her to take part in the celebrations happening with us. Now the other thing I want to check for Isadora, Anya obviously doesn't know anyone much. She's completely like new, whereas Isadora, she does know these Sims. I mean, a lot of these kids she hasn't met, but she has somewhat of a relationship with them. So I am fascinated to see how exactly her relationship with everyone in the Coven is. So Anya, she has a positive relationship with, which is awesome. What's this? Right, okay. Lady Zora, it's positive, but then again, I don't think she likes alchemists very much because she absolutely hated Lady Marigold. And Marigold was fabulous. Marigold was absolutely amazing. She was like one of the best alchemists we've ever had, the best spellcasters. And then we have, she's friends with Aphrodite because Aphrodite is her niece. Ciri is her niece. So is Galaxia and Saphira, so she gets along with them. And then Yuki's her niece. Pretty much everyone in the next generation is her niece, so she gets along with them, which is really good. Luciano and Blaze. See, this is interesting. She actually is friends with Blaze. And she's not friends. I mean, she has a positive impression, but she's not close to Luciano, and he's the evil one. Huh. Huh, that's very interesting. Wisteria, she's not friends with, and I think we established this earlier on in the season when, in the diary episodes, when Wisteria used to go meet with Isadora, and I think during the time where we had the ambassadors, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe one of the visits that we had, Wisteria mentioned that Isadora is constantly like testing her for weaknesses to see if she can strike or take advantage. And Wisteria's always been aware of that, and she kind of appreciates it because she would rather her sister challenge her openly than to like scheme behind her back. Which Isadora does scheme, but she's also open about testing the queen's strength so the queen doesn't think she schemes. She's very smart about it, basically. But I don't think Isadora sees Wisteria as like her beloved sister that she's forever going to be faithful to. That's not Isadora. Zelda thinks of Wisteria because, I mean, it's a twin, right? She thinks of Wisteria as someone that she's going to be loyal to. Isadora just sees Wisteria as a figure of authority that she is going to obey as long as it helps her get what she wants. And then, let's see. Yep, her nieces. Her brother, Lord Arch, she's not that close to either. Zelda, obviously, there's like no love lost with Zelda. She just has no feelings for Zelda, which is obvious because she threw her sister under the bus and tried to get her killed. But she has really no positive or negative feelings for Zelda. Zelda's just like another pawn in her games, I think. Oriana is kind of the same. So Oriana, Zelda, and Zora all in the same boat in that Isadora just sees them as a pawn. And then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for everyone in the Coven and her relationship. So I think I'm going to wrap up here. What I'll do is I'll get Lady Anya, moved back into the creature cradle so she can go about her life. We also have one of the male spellcasters there assisting her. And then Isadora, obviously she's staying with us. We need to give her access to Soul's quarters underground. This breaks my heart. You don't deserve to be in here, you pathetic vampire. I love Isadora, but I dislike her too. I dislike her too. Okay, we are going to unlock, and then we will, let's see, lock door for, where is it? Everyone but Isadora, and then we are going to give access to Saphira. So allow access to Saphira. So there we go. Saphira is going to be able to use those amenities. Does she have access? I don't know if she has access to her mother's quarters. Does she? Let's see. Allow access to... I think she might have access, which she shouldn't. Hold on a second. Lock for... I don't see her here. Do I have to get someone else to do it? Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, lock for Saphira. So we don't want her to have access because this is like the priestess quarters. And all her amenities should be met downstairs. So there we go. Those two are definitely going to have to bond because that's what we need. We need them to be on good terms with each other. And we also probably have to get a move on with the training. Now, where are we in terms of just before we leave off? Okay, so we have some time. I mean, exclude these two showcases. We don't really take part in these. But we have time until Yuki's birthday. So we have like 4 more days. And then it's going to be Yuki's birthday. So we can get a few things kind of sorted in here. I'm not entirely sure if I am going to like skip to Yuki's birthday for the next episode and just play off camera for these days and hone everyone's skills, or if I'm going to like take a bit of time to go ahead and see how everyone feels about Isadora being in the castle. That's something that I could do. So give them an episode to kind of mourn and to just see if they get along with Isadora. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe. I haven't decided. We'll have to see. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I am gonna leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.